if you sit here while they're diving, if they are diving and you come, you're suddenly like, ah, surprise, bitch, I am here. Boom. Or you come like this. Oh, you're sitting here while he's coming from the lane gang. You're collapsing. He has the fight at the turret because they're diving. Bam! We shit on them. Trying to counter. Boom. You win. This is visually appealing. I don't know what you guys have. If this is visually appealing, a great guide. A great guide. Hey, what's up guys? Darkbreaker here, and in today's video, let me introduce you to this advanced jungle macro guides. I have made guides in the past for jungling already. I've made like a basic beginner jungling video or jungling guide already. Then I've made for this season also jungle video where I gave you guys the best tips in season 5 on how I reached Challenger solo queue only. And now, since the new season is gonna start very soon, we have season 6 knocking on the door, or I don't know when I'm releasing this video. Season 6 is coming out, so I will try to give you my advanced tips, and also the legend mode is coming out. We now have the solo mode coming out. Solo mode, legend, new ranks. You can compete elo based system, so it's gonna be much more competitive and less grindy, and it's only available for a few hours per day. I have experience playing solo mode in Arena of Valor. That's I mean, Arena of Valor is a very familiar, or the copy, the daughter basically of King of Glory, the most popular MOBA game in China. And it's published by Tencent, and Riot or wildrift in China is also published by Tencent. So I assume it's gonna be a very similar system where just I hope they're just copy pasting it and they're just porting over the system. So it's a very similar system. So I will cover in another video like the legend ranks, but yeah, this video will basically just cover all the macro tips you guys need to know. Decision making is very important. I have like a list here. We're going to talk about matchups, lane priority, pathing, predicting pathing of the opponents, counter ganking, lane ganks. Like, since we are talking about predictions, then also jungle tracking, tracking where the enemy jungler is, what he's planning to do. It's like a little chess game where you have to be a step above the opponent. Then tempo control on the map, objective management, decision making, know in which scenario is the best and optimal play. And I think this is like the main thing that makes you a challenger player, or where you have the edge over other players, is good decision making, knowing which scenario you have or which scenario is the right play or is the winning play. Because people will always try to go for the clown fiesta. They always try to force an objective which they might not even win, because they don't consider their team comp, they don't consider the lane priorities, they don't consider their the state of the game, how well each player is doing right now, the summoner spells, the ultimate, etc. There are so many things that you guys need to consider. And also, by the way, make sure to leave a like under this video if you guys have enjoyed this guide and you guys want me to cover more guides, maybe a matchup guide. Matchup guide in terms of like, Baron lane guide, where I'm talking only about matchups, like the top 10 champions versus the top 10 other meta champions. I could rate like, okay, Camille versus Fiora is like a 4 out of 10. Camille against Garen is a 6 out of 10, where you're winning, for example, and that's for like all the meta matchups, and then some tips and tricks there. And then in general, like maybe a melee versus range, melee against melee, or range against range matchup guides. And also, where was I? Leave a like, subscribe, activate notifications so you guys don't miss out on future guides. And also patch 3.3 is coming out soon. So much content is coming out. Elemental Rift, Shyvana change, Kassadin getting released, Ari changes, Teemo, Wukong. So much content coming out soon. And definitely check out the beginner guides I've made for every single role already, for the Baron lane, for jungle, for mid lane, for ADC, and for support. Beep, 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 something like that. I'm gonna show it to you guys right here. And yeah, let's get started. It's a freestyle. This very freestyle what I'm doing. I have like the big topics, but I feel like when I did the script for the support guide, you guys didn't enjoy it that much, and I feel like freestyle. I'm gonna talk like 2 hours or something. So I think that one's gonna be better. Um, I feel like a lot of you guys will like some more videos or more gameplays. I will try to show a few clips here and there, but I prefer to just show it on the map right here because we can cover more scenarios, and it's very hard to cover, like, find for every single scenario that I'm gonna talk about, find a clip. It's not that easy, and it's a lot of work finding for each scenario I'm talking about a clip, and it's easier for me to just visualize it on the map right here. Wait. Okay, let's continue with the matchups. So there are, I mean, in general, when you're playing jungle champions, you have different type of champions. Like you have assassins, you have bruisers, you have mages, you have tanks, and then there are like some very aggressive assassins that are super strong in the early game. We have, for example, a Lee Sin, a Jarvan, or maybe a Kha'Zix. Those champions are super strong at level 2 already, or maybe a Riven as well, or an Olaf. Those champions are very quick with a jungle clear speed, and they're strong in the early skirmishes. So depending on the matchup you're playing, you need to be careful on how you're doing your pathing. So what does it mean? A Lee Sin might invade you. A Lee Sin might force a fight in the early game against you. So best case, what you do is you avoid them and you try to path around them. So let's say we have Mr. Lee Sin. A Lee Sin, there are different options that a Lee Sin, for example, can do when it comes down to pathing. Let's say we're blue side, he's red side, he's starting at his red buff or something. Oh wait, let's use this one. He's starting at his red buff. This is this #1 camp, right? And then he could go immediately for your blue buff to steal it, like here this second. Or he knows, okay, you're pathing red, raptors, and then blue, and then you go for scuttle. Then he can just go this, and then invade. Or he goes 1, 2, 3, and then he probably, I don't know if he's quick enough. Like if he gets a big leash, then he could go here next, 2, and then he goes here and invades you at blue buff. Or he starts at, he can also start at Crux right here. Then he goes to his red buff, and then from there he can either go for this one, and then he fights you at the rift scuttle here, or he immediately goes for the invade after 1, 2. Like usually what they like to do is, I mean, there are obviously different options on how they want to start. Like, in the end, it's like, okay, they can go 2 camps into invade, or they go 3 camps into rift scuttle fight. Or, if they, I mean, at least since, like, pathings can always differ depending on the players you're facing. But you get the point. The point is, if you're playing against someone, you need to predict where he is gonna path and what he's gonna planning to do against you. So if you assume he wants to fight you at Scuttle, if you assume he might invade you, then you just want to go to the opposite side to farm up. On the opposite side to avoid them. And that's basically when it comes down to matchup. I think I should... I mean, this covers... This, like, the whole point about matchups is just you need to think about what the other is gonna do and do something that's more safe for you. That's the main point about matchups. And also, if you're like in the more aggressive position, like you are the one who's on the Lee Sin, you are the one on who is on the Kha'Zix instead of like a more weaker champion, then you can also go for the invade yourself or try to go for the skirmish early game. I think we should cover pathing first, and while I'm covering pathing, we are gonna cover the matchups. So let's start with the basic pathing. What I like to do majority of the time is I'm starting with the red buff. This is number 1, right? This is my first camp I like to do when I'm getting a leash. If I'm getting a leash, I like to start with the red buff, and if I don't get a leash, you can also start with the. You can also start with Crux, or you can also start with Raptors, depending on the champion you're playing. This can also be your starting point. These are your options. You get a leash, you just start red buff. If you don't get a leash, you can start Raptors or Crux. And then afterwards, what you can do is what I almost every time what I like to do is just go for full red clear camp. I like to clear the full red side first, and now I'm level 3. I can use the plant right here to see or I can uncover wards here. I can also see whether or not the jungler is pathing to blue side or if he's pathing red side. How do I know this? If I use the plant right here around 110, you are using the plant right here at 110 or 120. You can see if he's on blue buff or not. If he's not on blue buff, you know he's on the other side. And depending on the champion, he might go for full clear as well. But majority of players or majority of champions, they are also gonna full red clear side, and then they're gonna go for the scuttle here. And then if they are on a maybe they're on an Evelyn, maybe they're on Amumu or something, they might go for full clear. Full clear means they will try to avoid any fights and clear the entire side here, entire jungle, just to get level 5 safely without fighting. And then you know, okay, in this case, I know he is on the red side. So what are your options afterwards? This is what you do first. This is the first step of your jungle clear. Depending on the champion you're playing, you can also just go for 2 camps and then immediately into a gank. But let's talk about this first pathing first that I like to do, and then afterwards you can decide, okay, what do I do after I clear the red? Option 1, you go for mid lane gank here immediately. Immediately, like, you clear the wards. At this point you have the red sweeper, or you're using the plant to uncover this. You can go immediately here if he's overextended, or you're coming from behind, bop, 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 and then you're ganking this way. Number 2 is this guy is overextended, or the bot lane or the baron lane, depending on which side you are overextended. Instead of going for the scuttle, you just come from here behind and try to gank the bot lane. And this is who is maybe over aggressive here, for example. And then if you know they're here and you have the red trinket, you can also go for invade here. Invade, try to take the blue buff, maybe take the Gromp if you guys want to, and then afterwards you can go for the gank, or afterwards you can go for the mid lane gank. And the main thing, you can also obviously do what I do majority of the time. Instead of looking for gank, you just clear the scuttle that is spawning at 125. Scuttle is always spawning at 125. Right here. Boom. This is the main jungle route that I do most of the time. This is the 101 pathing that you do most of the time, depending on your lane priorities, but I'm going to talk about that later on. Let's just talk about the pathing. So right here we did the full red clear, and then we're getting the scuttle, and then afterwards we're looking for a gank. But you can also look for a gank after clearing the full red side, or you're just doing 2 camps. You can also just do 2 camps. You see, okay, the laner is playing very aggressive. Okay, let's remove everything. Ooh, I can clear like this. Boom, magic. What you can also do is, like, you do 1 camp right here, this number 1, you do this one, this is number 2, and then afterwards you see, okay, this guy is playing super aggressive. It's a Yasuo player. Boom, what you do, you come here, bam, you gank him immediately, you get first blood. What do you do afterwards, after first blood? I guess you could just go to your blue buff afterwards. Or if you have time, you just go to the other scuttle. Like this. Or you can go back to this scuttle. I mean, depends on the scenario. And now, I've talked about what... this is when the guy is not pathing... when he's pathing red side. It is scenario number 1. What is the case if you're against Lee Sin or against a strong champion Olaf? Let's say Vi, Olaf or something. They are very quick with a jungle clear. They are already you use your vision right here. You use the vision plant right here, and you see, oh my god, Olaf already finished the blue buff, or Vi already finished the blue buff, and they're here. They're gonna be level 4. Level, and then 4. They're gonna be level 4 because they are super quick. Maybe they're gonna go for the old standard clear, where they go 1, 2, 3, 4, and they are quicker than you because maybe they got a leash and you didn't get a leash. And you see, oh my god, they are on there. Then instead of going for the scuttle, you can also just go for the other scuttle instead, which is more the safer option. Or what you can also do is just go for full clear, where you did 1, 2, 3, I mean the order doesn't matter, and then 4, 5, and then you go for this scuttle, or you go 6, and then you at this point you are level 5 already if you did these 6. But you're gonna be late for this scuttle if he's. But I mean, it depends. It depends. Some junglers, they're gonna do this, and then they go in immediately to the other scuttle as well, get both scuttled, or they're gonna go for a gank here. This looks messy, but I think you're getting. I hope you're getting the point. By the way, I hope you guys are getting the point. You need to be aware what the other jungler is gonna do, and then you can decide what else you're gonna do. This was the other option where you know, okay, you are facing against a Lee Sin who is already a blue buff. Do you actually want to contest against the Scuttle? Are you strong enough? Do you have lane priority? Are your teammates gonna help or not? And then the old clear that I used to go for was I start 1, 2, and then 3, and then 4 is Scuttle. And some junglers are very quick, like Olaf or Vi, they can go 3, 4, and then 5 is Scuttle. Oh my god, you don't see this one that good. 5 is Scuttle. This could be also like the old jungle clear, but I really like the red one because it gives you more diversity and decision making changes depending on what you see with your information you get. Like if you use this plant right here, you get informations. You have more time. Like at this point, at 110, 120, you use the plant here. You get way more information, and you're not as predictable with this pathing. This pathing is more predictable, and this pathing gives you more options on what to do next. Ganking mid, ganking bot lane, going for the opposite side, going for full clear. You have way more variety on what to do with the pathing, but this is the old clear, where you reach level 4 quicker. You are... I think if you do this is already level... Are you level 4? I think you're almost level 4. If you get the Scuttle, you're level 4. If you do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Scuttle, you're gonna be level 4. But you're also gonna be level 3 if you do 1, 2, 3. Like red, raptors, blue buff. Obviously, this might be a little bit more complicated for you guys, the whole thing about talking about every single path thing. But if you guys want the easier version, just check out the beginner guide. And now let's talk about the full clear. This is the... I mean, I can talk about what you're doing after the Scuttle. Or after blue buff. You can go for... Like I said, you can... Depending... You always need to pay attention on what is happening on the map. What is happening on the lanes. What is happening on the lanes right now? Is anyone playing aggressive? Is anyone playing low life? Then you can go for a gank, right? Oh my god, let's use the other color. You can go here for gank afterwards. You can go here for gank. Or you can go this way for gank. Or you can go for a lane gank. This is also an option. Bop, 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 bop. Looks good, right? And obviously you can go here immediately if he's overextended or you come from behind. Wow, looks good. Magic. I'm an art student. Art student. Looks amazing. This is what you can do. Or you go after the Scuttle. Wait, let's go a little bit. This looks messy, right? Let's remove a bit. So after number 5, which is the 4 camp in the Scuttle. But only a few champions are quick enough to do this, where you make it in time to 125 and you finish everything. Because there is the risk that the other is gonna go for the full red clear and is quicker than you here if you go for the full, or if you go for the 4 camp. Because if you go for 4 camp and your jungler is not quick enough, you might not make it in time at Scuttle to contest, or the other jungler is gonna take it before you. This is also the risk. But then at 5 is the same point where you just go for gank here, or you're looking for gank here, or you're just resetting, go into the base, and then you're looking for gank, lane gank like this, or you're coming like this after you reset. Like, you can also reset, get items, and then go for a gank in the bot lane, for example, or you're looking for a mid gank when you see that someone is overextended. And then we have some junglers that like to go for full clear. Those junglers are typically, for example, maybe Rengar, Vi, Rammus, Amumu, Evelynn. Those champions, maybe they don't want to fight or get the skirmish going level 3 against other junglers because they're stronger, or they just want to secure a safe level 5 without fighting. Because at the end of the day, if you want to go for skirmishes, you're very reliant on the lane priority you have from the other laners. Are they gonna help you out? Will the other laner react quicker? I'm gonna cover this later on, but let's talk about the full clear first. Full clear, for example, could look like this. Number 1 is either red buff or Crux, depending on the champion you're playing. For example, Kha'Zix might benefit by rushing red because you have the isolation damage, or you have an easier time doing the Crux. But I would say most junglers, if they're gonna go for the full clear, they start Crux. This is a safe option where you don't need leash. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're lucky, you might get the Scuttle, and then this is 7. But usually, if you don't do this, you get level 5, you go reset, get items, and then you're looking for gank. Or after this, if someone is overextended, obviously, go look for gank, go look for lane gank, a lane gank via the bush. What you need to think about when you're doing a lane gank is that you need to pay attention to the minions. Like, you need to be out of vision, or the minions need to be out of vision, that if you enter the bush and you're using the red trinket to cover if he has a ward there, that you're not getting spotted by the minions or by the champion itself. And then you can use the plant here to cover. Here's the plant that you can use to cover vision. Wait, how does it look like even? I think it looks like this. It covers like this. This area is covered by the wards. By the plant, so you can see what wards are here, and then you can go for a gank. But make sure if you use this, if you reveal the champion, they know, okay, someone used the plant, and they know, okay, I'm gonna get ganked because the jungler is nearby. If you have a red trinket, you can also just go this way for gank. If the champion is here, is overextended, or you're coming from behind. We're gonna cover dives later on. I need to remember dives. Lane ganks, or ganking in general. Okay, dives. This is what did we cover so far? We've covered the standard red clear. We covered the full red thing. We've covered a full clear. We could cover like champions that are starting blue buff. Obviously, you can also start blue buff if you guys want to avoid someone, or if you guys have Morgana. Because some Morgana players, they have 2 options. What they're doing, they're starting 2 camps at the same time. They're doing 1, 1. By pulling the blue buff into this area, they can do 2 camps at the same time. And they can do the same right here, where they do 2, 2. And then, if the enemy is going to go for full red clear, if you have a red trinket, you're going this way, pop, 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 and you're taking this 3. But this is high risk. This is high risk. I wouldn't recommend this one. If you manage to do this a 3 camp clear against the enemy jungler, wow, you're shitting on him. This works if he goes for full red clear and they don't have a ward here. But most of the times, people are putting a control ward in the bush right now. But if in the new patch you can't use control ward and a normal ward anymore because they changed it. But I mean, it's whatever. The other option is you go 1, 1. This is Morgana. Then they do 2. And then they do 3. Where they do these 2 together. And then 4 Scuttle. This way you're also level 5 very quickly. This is Morgana. But some champions like to start blue buff. Usually you don't need to go for blue buff. But if you want to avoid someone. If you think, okay, they're going to invade blue buff very early. Like you're against a Lee Sin, you assume he wants to invade. You can also just start blue buff 1, 2, and then 3, and then 4, for example. If you assume, okay, he's gonna go full red clear into an invade. Or the other option is, if you think you're not that quick, or if you have a champion that is super quick, you can also go for 3, where you get the Raptors, then 4 red buff, and then you go 5 Scuttle, or you go for Gank afterwards. Like, when it comes down to jungling, you need to think about, hey, what is the optimal clear for my jungler? How quick can he jungle? Can I avoid enemy junglers? Do I even need to avoid enemy junglers? Am I a strong champion that can contest against others or not? And then always make sure to think about, okay, where are the priorities in the lanes? Will I have help? What are the matchups against the other junglers? Is someone playing over aggressive? Is someone very low life and diveable? Is my Baron laner setting up a huge wave where we can dive, for example? Let's say you're doing 1, you're doing 2, you're doing 3, you're doing 4, and then you see, okay, this guy is low life, he's setting up a big wave, and then you can just go for the dive like this. Bam. Or you go immediately like this for the dive. Like, you need to think about what is happening on the lane. So let's talk about lane priorities as well. Now, lane priority. What does that exactly mean? I've covered this in my last video already, and it basically means which lane will be able to help you out at skirmishes, at fights at all. You need to understand not only the matchups you have in the jungle, you need to understand also the matchups you have, or the matchups your laners have. Because then you will know, okay, does this guy have prior or not? Let's say I have in the Baron lane, my Baron laner is, which champion do we put that is? Let's say the enemy is a Fiora. The enemy is Fiora, and she's gonna... Oh, I'm not gonna write it. I can't write. I can't write. Let's say my Baron the enemy Baron laner is a Fiora and is gonna push against... Who's weak against Fiora in the early game? Let's say it's a Garen. Let's say Fiora against Garen. Fiora has the priority. She's gonna push the Garen in. She's gonna win the early game and she's gonna push against Garen in. And in the mid lane we have mid lane matchup. Let's say Aurelia versus... We have an Aurelia versus Sona. This is a good example. Then we know Aurelia is also gonna dominate against the Sona and is gonna shove in and has priority. So let's say we are Lee Sin, we're strong. We're strong. We know we can fight the skirmishes. We're stronger than the enemy Amumu, right? We're stronger than Amumu. If Amumu wants to fight us at the Scuttle, we know we are gonna beat him because we are strong level 3 and Amumu can't do shit against us. But now the problem is, if you're gonna fight... Let me find a circle or something. Oh, let's say we are fighting here, right? There is gonna be a fight in this area for the Scuttle. And we know we are stronger than the enemy lane or the enemy jungler because we know we understand the matchup. How do we understand matchup? Basic knowledge, knowing the champion, how it works, and also experience. Experience is very important to understand all the matchups that you have in the jungle, including the matchups that you have in the lane. But now, the enemy has priority. Oh, I say, never mind. We have Sona. And the enemy has Aurelia, and the enemy has Fiora. Fiора's pushing in. She is gonna come and roam and collapse on you. Same for the Aurelia. The wave is getting shoved in. Yo, this is the enemy minions. Enemy minions are red, by the way. We're doing this right. Enemy minions are red, and your own minions are blue buff right here. Oh, they're right here. This is the wave position you have right now. Oh my god, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Aurelia, she's shoving him. She poked the sonar down. Bad trades by the sonar, very typical. And then she is gonna roam here, and they are gonna collapse in you. And it's a three man collapse on yes. Amumu finish. Amumu's also coming right now. So, you thought it's a 1 versus 1? You thought it's a 1 versus 1? No, you're wrong! It's a 3 versus 1! You're getting collapsed on because they have lane priority and you didn't think about it. So, what do you do then if you know, okay, shit, they have lane prior? If you know he's here, or if you know the others are moving and the enemy jungler, you spotted the enemy jungler, what you can do as the Lee Sin now is, or as the jungler, after the blue buff, you see, okay, they're fighting here, I'm gonna avoid it. I'm gonna dip. Pop, 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 pop. I go to the other side. I take this scuttle. This is an option. This might not work every time because they might be so quick that they are like, hey, we just got the scuttle ready. Let's move quickly. Bam, we're gonna move it here as well. And then the bot lane. They also have prio. They have here's the wave right now for the enemy minions. They are crashing in. They are also roaming and they're collapsing on you. You thought you were gonna get the other scuttle. You're trading the scuttle. You're trading objective. It doesn't work out because you're getting collapsed because every laner is losing right now. What do? Just farm up, honestly. You just have to farm up at this point. So you got 1, you got 2, you got 3. This is not working, this is not working because you see, okay, no lane prio, no lane prio, no lane prio. This is worst case scenario. This is worst case scenario, but in solo queue this might happen. What you can do is you just farm this one, 4, 5, and then you reset, or you're looking for gank here. Maybe this guy's overextended, you're gonna look for gank here. You can look for gank here maybe. You can reset. Reset is number 6. And then you can go here to the crux, which you didn't do yet. 7. Or you just go for lane gank here immediately because they're overextended. Or you're coming from here behind. This is your other option. This is visually appealing. I don't know what you guys have. If this is visually appealing, a great guide, and smash the like button, no problem. This is lane priority. I think now you understand lane priority already. This is a very good example already. You need to consider, okay, what are my laners doing? Can I contest stuff? Can you even invade? I was talking about the invade thing, right? I was talking about, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. This also doesn't work if your wave, let's say your wave is around this area and the enemy wave is already at this area where they're pushing. That means the others need to clear the wave before they can move because otherwise they're gonna lose minions. And then the naughty enemy bot lane, they will collapse on you while you're doing it if they have a ward. Because a lot of times they will have a control ward right here. And I would also recommend you guys, or they have a ward right here, you get spotted right here. Best case, they don't have any wards here. Usually people might put a ward here, or put a ward here, or they have a ward here. So if you're using your plants, if you use it like this, you can spot all the wards from the enemy, but then you won't see the blue buff. But if you want to see the blue buff, like this, you might not be able to see the ward right here, which is gonna spot you. So you also need the red trinket to make sure that you don't get spotted. The issue is, like I said, if you get spotted somehow, they might collapse on you. Then the enemy jungler is like, okay, control ward, he did 1, he did 2, he did 3. Instead of going for this one right here, he's like, okay, never mind, let's collapse on this. Let's collapse. And then it's a gangbang at blue buff, if you're too over-aggressive. Be careful and stay protected. Stay protected, guys. Don't do this. This is a risky play that only works if you know, okay, my best case, your wave is crashing. Oops. Your wave is crashing. Your wave is here. And your lane has prio. What they can do then is they come for the invade and they follow you and help you out. And the enemy jungler is like, oh, let's go for my blue buff. I want. They go 1, 2, 3, or they go 1, 2. No, they go 1, 2, 3, or they go 1, 2, and then they go for the blue buff. And then it's a collapse. You're collapsing on them. This is also an option. But it's probably not gonna happen because your bot lane is not gonna be winning like that. Rare case, it's a rare case. Don't assume this is gonna happen because bot laners, nah, it's not gonna happen. Okay, we've covered pathing, we've covered lane prio, matchups. I think matchups you kinda understand now. You need to consider champions like Lee Sin, Kha'Zix, Olaf, Vi, J4 that are strong in the early game, maybe Fiora and Riven as well, and maybe you're on a weaker champion. And even if you're on a stronger champion, you need to consider what are my laners doing. Hey, will they help me out or not? Let's talk about pathing, predictions, counter ganking, lane ganks. Maybe let's talk about ganking. While we're doing ganking, we are also gonna talk about the enemy jungler at the same time. Let's talk about ganking in general. I've already covered for you guys the options you have. So the best case option is obviously number one, the enemy jungler is, or the enemy laner is over aggressive and he doesn't have any wards. Let's say this is option 1 where the enemy wave is right here. The enemy wave is right here. You have a red trinket, you use the red trinket. Oh, no, I'm gonna talk about that one later. I've talked about the control ward, right? What I like to do in the early game is I put a control ward here, I backport, get the red trinket, and then I go to this one. But yeah, that's just... I think most people know this. This is option 1 where you're ganking just coming from here behind or just coming from here behind. Best case gank. This means the enemy laner is stupid and you're just free farming him because he's too overextended. Option 1, enemy laner is overextended, you just go for the standard gank. Option 2 is your laner is winning hard. Enemy laner is getting poked down. I always showed it to you guys. Wave is about to crash in. Wave is crashing in soon. What you can do is you're coming from behind and you're ganking. This is the second option. My laner is winning so hard that we can easily dive. And then it's also important aggro management. If someone is doing the damage, just tank for him and then just back off before you die and the other has time to kill him. Or he's tanking enough while you're damaging him and then he's flashing out and you can secure that kill. Tower aggro management also very important. But this is gank option number 2. Option number 3 is let's say the wave is wait, let's see. I think it's easier to show it in the bottom right because let's say the enemy wave is around the middle area. Let's say it's around here. Then most of the times people won't have a ward in the bush. Oh, I just remember the level 2 Leon gang. The level 2 Leon gang is also excellent. It works like a charm almost every single time. I'm gonna talk about it afterwards. Let's not forget it. This is option number 3, lane ganking. Lane ganking means you're entering sneaky into this bush. They don't know you are in this one. You are standing right here in the edge. And the enemy junglers, they are like, hello, I'm here, we're trading. My laners are like, here, we're trading. And then either you engage on them when they're stepping too far forward, or your support is engaging with, let's say, a Thresh, Alistar or something. They're engaging, and then you also engage on them. Boom. And then you get the kill. Lane gank. They are trading within the lane, they step a little bit too forward, the support engages, you engage, boom, done deal. What you can also do is, while you're entering this bush, you're using the red trinket to make sure that there are no wards and you're not spotted. Be patient, wait there. If the enemy lane is overextended and they are stepping too far forward, then collapse on them. get the kill. Same for the Baron lane. Let's say the other laner wants to go in. It's a Renekton. He's dashing in. He wasted his dash. Then you come with the lane gank and you kill him. Because he played aggressively or he used his dash. Same example for like a Riven. Riven uses dashes, trying to go for the trades, and then she doesn't have any mobility to avoid the lane gank anymore. That's number 3. Number 4 would be a counter gank. But let me cover one more point. The level 2 cheesy Leon gank, lane gank. I mean, you can always level 2 gank if you have like a Lee Sin or Jarvan, like I said already. But I just want to cover this one quickly. Number 1, number 2, or you go number 1 straight into lane gank. Number 1 straight into lane gank. This works like a charm somehow. It works so many times. But if they're leashing for you, the wave is gonna spot you. So just do number 2, Crux, and then go for this lane gank and then collapse on them like this. This is the early game cheesy Leon gank. If you know Leon from Rick's Gaming, he does this all the time and it works almost every time because, I don't know, bot laners don't expect this. Bot laners never expect this and they're griefing. If you do this into this, you might get spotted because the wave is shoved in because they leash for you. But if you do number 2, it just means they have more time to push out the wave, and then the wave is in a position where if you enter the bush, you are not getting spotted by the minions. It's very important for you guys. When you're entering this, the minion wave should be around this area. Because if you're entering like this, you might get spotted. So if the minion wave is like here, obviously you will get spotted by the minions. But if they are like here, you won't get spotted. Let's talk about counter ganks. Counter ganking, you have also different options. Obviously, because you need to be a chess master. Chess master, think about what they're gonna do. Think about what they are gonna do. Are they gonna gank or not? Where are they gonna gank? What I like to do when I do counter ganks is you're predicting the enemy pair thing. What are they gonna do? Are they gonna do for they have I told you about the options you have in the jungle. Most of the times the number 1 pathing option I told you is the one that is most likely to happen. Let's say enemy jungler is doing 1, they're doing 2, they're doing 3, get the scuttle, and then they're looking for gank right here. Because your laner is overextended, here's the wave. What you can do this, if you know this, is 1, 2, 3, and then you come here, enter this bush, wait patiently, because your laner is right here, right? And then they are gonna come here to gank him, and then you collapse on them. You're collapsing them. This could be an option to counter gank in the early game. But in general, you can always sit in the bush if you know later on in the mid game, okay, he's gonna gank because my laner is overextended. Then you can... Best case is when they're trying to dive, you're counter ganking, or if your laner is overextended, you can sit in the bush to counter gank. You can obviously also do 1, let's clear this one again. 1, 2, 3, you spot him here. You use this one, you spot him, he is not at blue buff. Then you know he is going full red clear, and you know you have a Fiora that is playing aggressive. Then you can still move up like this, all the way here, just to sit in this bush, wait patiently, while this guy takes the scuttle. He takes the scuttle, and then he goes for the gank, coming from behind, trying to gank. And then you're collapsing. Like, the thing is, if your laner is so aggressive here in the front of the lane, usually it means they're winning the lane and the other guy is low. Then if you're counter ganking, you're more likely to win because the other guy is already low and your guy is winning. Then it's also thinking about the lane priorities. But like I said, if you know, another option is, let's say in the bot lane or in the top lane. I think this example is easy if I'm showing it from here. Let's say the wave is right here for the enemies. What you will do is, you are the patient guy who is either sitting here or he's sitting here, depending on what the enemy jungler is gonna do. Because the enemy jungler might go like this. A lot of junglers are gonna do this, like high elo junglers. Like say if you play against a pro jungler, they like to do this shit. all the time coming from the lane to dive, or they're coming this way to dive is also an option, or they're coming this way to dive. If you sit here while they're diving, if they are diving and you come, you're suddenly like, ah, surprise, bitch, I am here. Boom. Or you come like this. Or you're sitting here while he's coming from the lane gang. You're collapsing. He has the fight at the turret because they're diving. Bam! We shit on them. Trying to counter. Boom. You win. And now I'm going to show you some clips. Hopefully they are useful because I think those clips are pretty good. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's look at the timer. The timer is 4 minutes. The timer, you also need to consider respawn time. Since we're talking about this, consider the respawn time of the buffs. Always consider the respawn time of the buffs. Right now the time is 4 minutes. What do I know? What do I know just because I see the timer is 4 minutes? What do I know, guys? Write down below in the comments. I know this enemy jungler. He is red side. He cleared his red side. He just finished the red side because look what I am doing. Think about what you are doing right now. Think what you are doing right now. You just finished the red side clear. Because around 3 minutes the red is spawning. So he does... can I do this? Can I do this? He does this. He does this. And he does this. And how do you know this? Because you literally did the same. You also did this, this, and this. So I know immediately. Just because I know, okay, this is the time. It's around 4 minutes. He just cleared his... He just cleared the full red side. I know, okay, now the guy is looking for a gang somewhere. Or he's going for the scuttle. So right now I'm pinging. Wait, let's see. Am I pinging? I am pinging. I know that I'm pinging. Like, I have zero vision, but I know that... come on. Okay. Let it run. Okay, so I'm doing Krugs. And right now I'm like, okay, my Diana is overextended. I see right now Diana is in this position super overextended. And I know, there's the ping coming. Listen to Darkbreaker ping when he's pinging you. It means danger, danger. And right now I'm pinging already. I'm pinging multiple times. I'm like, Diana, you need to back off. There's the Camille. Camille is coming already because she just finished red side and the scuttle. So what I'm doing is I'm immediately moving to help her out. And bam, we win this because I helped her out and we get a double kill. I mean, I could have reacted quicker, but I didn't expect the Diana to be so over-aggressive, to be fair. Like, I think the easiest way to predict what the enemy jungler is doing is think about what you're doing right now, and if he's not on your side, he's probably on the other side. This also applies to ganks that are gonna happen. That also applies for ganks that are gonna happen. If you are, let's say you're finishing the blue, you're finishing this lovely side. You just finished this lovely area, and then you're spotting him that he's not on blue buff. As the laner, this gives you information that the enemy jungler is also just finished this one. And he's gonna gank either here, or he's ganking either here. Then you need to understand as the laner, if you are getting ganked by, if you're getting ganked as laner, you also, it's not only your lane, you need to also think about what the enemy jungler is doing and where he's gonna gank next. Because it's your responsibility as laner to lane save and to play the way that you don't get ganked for free, and you're not donating a free kill because you're playing too overextended, and you know, hey, the enemy jungler finished red side and he's gonna gank me, but no, you're not backing off. You always need to consider what the enemy jungler is doing, because it's also your responsibility to not int to the enemy jungler, okay? Okay, that's clip 1. I always wanted to flame laners as well that are not thinking about it, because in the end, unless it's like, there are some ganks that are not avoidable if they're diving you, and they have like Camille ultimate or something, but if you're dying to a level 2 or level 3 gank, you're griefing yourself. Okay, I have another clip which was also pretty good, and I liked it. How to get out. Okay, what do we see in the third scenario right here? We see Camille just gank bot lane, and now the dragon just spawned. I just reset it, got items. Now, option number one is she's trying to rush the Inferno because they just secured the kill on Senna. Option number two is she is looking for a gank on Diana. So what I'm doing first is I'm trying to put a ward on the Inferno to make sure she's not gonna do for it. And now I know, okay, Camille's gonna gank. Camille's gonna gank mid lane, and I'm immediately moving, trying to have him out, go in, and we get the kill. Just because I know where the Camille's gonna gank. I knew from this scenario, the moment she was there, you can think about, okay, what is she gonna do next? What is her next motive? Inferno, risky. Some people like to do it. That's why I put the ward there first. Or the Diana that is overextended and try to gank him. And now we're also gonna secure a free Inferno. That's a bit... there's a picture here. But yeah, those were two counter ganks tips. I think I had another lane gank clip. But it is literally the same. Like, I already explained the lane gank scenario where you're just sitting in the bush or you're counter ganking while the others coming from here and you're already sitting in the bush and you can counter gank. Or they're trying to dive, you're coming from this area or you're coming from this area. But the easiest way is thinking about what are you doing right now and where he is. Like, mirror thinking. Like, if you're on one side, he's probably on the other side, and he's probably gonna do gank on the other side. And if you spot him not being on the blue side, then you know he's on the opposite side. Like, that's the easiest way to track what the other guy is doing. And obviously, matchup knowledge and champion pool knowledge. Like, if you know on each champion what they like to do, then you can predict what they like to do. But I mean, some pro players, they're kind of fancy, and I know some pro players or challenger players that are doing, like, because it's like the scrim way. They do one, they do two, and then they shove the wave together. They shove the wave together here. So they will have prio, and the mid laner can then come to this and to this quicker. And then what you do is also try to contest here and shove the wave back. What you do is then you try to shove it as well here, and then you can... I mean, it depends on 2 versus 2. Sometimes it's not an option. But I know, for example, every time a jungle against Zephyr, he does this every single time. It's not something that is happening in ranked usually because the mid laner is gonna flame you. But if they're duo queue, they might do this just because they have the lane power then, and then they can just collapse on you on either scuttle depending on where you're going. It's also an option, but usually this is only something like in scrims or competitive that are people doing, not necessarily in ranked. It's very rare that this is happening in ranked. Jungle tracking, I think I explained this one already. Wait, let's see. Matchups, lane priorities, pathing, predictions, counter ganking, lane ganks, dives, jungle tracking, tempo control. Jungle tracking, tempo control. I mean, tempo control is just you're getting turrets. I think the main thing is setting up D wards, getting turrets, getting objectives. Getting objectives correctly is like the main thing that you guys want to do in this case. Like, for example, I think getting the Rift Herald is usually really good to get tempo. Like, that's why a lot of junglers like to go for the, like, let's say this is just, even, yeah, let's get started with objectives and trading. You need to consider your team comp. You need to consider if your laners are winning, and you need to consider your team comp. Like, let's say the enemy team has, like, Malphite, Galio, Karma, Alistair. They have a very strong teamfight composition. They have Amumu, jungle. They have a Cannon or something. They have very strong team fighting champions. And your team has split pushing assassins. Do you think you can win a dragon team fight? Do you think you can win a dragon team fight? Probably not. So let's say the enemy, they want to rush the dragon because it's let's say it's just a mountain, let's say it's an ocean or something. Then you're like, oh, who cares about that? I'm gonna go for the ocean, or I'm gonna go for the herald instead. Okay, they wanna go for the dragon, sure, go for it. What you can do is you just go for the rift herald instead. Oops. You just go for the rift herald instead. You're trading. This is cross mapping. People call it cross mapping, or you just call it objective trading. You're handshaking. One team takes the dragon, the other team takes the rift herald. And usually it's like if you have the weaker teamfight composition, you should always go for the trade. If it's like a mountain, ocean, and you have the better teamfight composition, I would still go for the trade. This might change for Elemental Rift. I feel like a lot of teams will always clown around the Elemental Rift, but giving up one Elemental Rift is fine if it's not an important Elemental Rift and if your team comp is weak. If you have a stronger teamfight composition, you should always go for the Elemental Rift. But the patch is not out yet. But let's say, I mean, we should adjust the decision making, right? Let's say you have the stronger teamfight composition, then you should always go for the Elemental Rift. Because after 3 dragons, you get souls and you change the map and you get bony stats. But right now, if it's like just a mountain ocean, just forget it, go for Herald. Herald gives you more tempo and you can get turrets. So why do people like to go for the Herald? Because then usually people are like there are like 4 people here, or there are like 5 people here. The Baron laner might just dip trying to go for this one. There's some cases. But let's say there are 4 people. There are just 4 people here. You are here, you're rushing this. What you can do is you are in a 2 versus 1 right here. Either use the Rift Herald to get the turret right here, or you can kill him, get the turret without using Rift Herald. This is the best case. And then later on you can use the Rift Herald to secure the mid turret. Why is securing the mid turret so important? Or why is securing the top turret so important? If you get the first turret of the map, you get bonus gold for the whole team. First turret gold. And you're also getting gold from Herald and from the turret. If you're running a Mastermind, that's a lot of gold you can get. And you're gonna get the gold advantage over the guy that's just getting the dragon. This is giving you immediate gold, which you can use to snowball, and the dragon is giving you bonus stats, which are more useful in the late game. Mountain Ocean are usually not that important, that you can just give it up to go for this. But then, your Baron laner can always shove the wave right now. He can always shove the wave very deep here, in this area, and then he can go for roams with you. Try to gank here, try to go for an invade or something. And if you later on use the Rift Herald to secure the mid turret, for example, you can set up easier deep wards and you can invade easier, because then they don't have the safe area of this turret, and your mid laner can also rotate between lanes quicker. Then you can set up, let's say you're blue, you can set up wards here, you can set up wards here, you can set up a depot ward here, for example, and then you can rotate. You get, if you get the mid, like if they're on dragon, you can also get the mid turret, for example. This is also an option. Like you get Herald and then you use it to get the Rift Herald, get the mid turret. Then you get this already early on. Then you can use it. You can shove the wave and you can rotate side lane quicker, rotate here to gank, or go for the invades, or like this as well. Like if you get the advantage of the mid turret, you can always shove the wave into this area right here, and then the enemy laner has the wave right here. And he needs to clear this one first, but your mid laner has priority to roam around the map for free at this point, or your whole team can easier roam. That's why getting the mid turret is so important. You can set up deep wards, you can invade, you can set up traps there, you can rotate on the map quicker. So this is also an option. Like let's say enemies are on this dragon. Your wave is already at this point, for example, because your laner, he is a genius. He's a guy that shoves the wave before the objective starts. He's shoving the wave before the objective starts. Bam. Good guy. You're securing this one right here. You secured this one right here. They're still busy because you rushed this quickly, or they were indecisive. And then you can just put the herald right here. 1 and secured. Or you can put it and then you are coming in here to still fight and collapse them because they were indecisive and they were slow. So by doing this, you are kinda pressuring them because some people might divide their attention to defend the turret. While you guys are fighting, the herald is gonna secure the turret, or some people are trying to defend it, and then you have an easier team fight. Hey, macro 101. This is like objective management and decision making. So, what did you learn right here? Knowing when to take team fights, knowing when you have the right team comp to take team fights, knowing when you should play around the other side of the map, because you are weaker in terms of team fighting. Maybe you have a split pusher, you have a Fiora against Malphite, then the Malphite is going to be stronger in team fighting, and Fiora is going to be better at the side lane. You want to get her ahead, then you're going to dive here, get the turret, and she can free farm. And she can always push the wave in, and she can roam, and she can scale, and she has an easier time going for the 1v1 because there's no turret anymore. Because some people don't understand when I go for Herald instead of the Dragon. Maybe you guys are too fucking weak. Maybe you guys are inting. Maybe you guys are feeding. Or maybe you guys are weak teamfight champions. I can't go for a teamfight 5 vs 5 where the likelihood of us losing at the Dragon is too high. Go for the better play. Go for the Rift Herald instead in this case. But if you have the strong teamfight composition and Elemental Rift, Inferno Elemental Rift, go for that teamfight because you're gonna win it. But what's also important is you need to consider the summoner spells of your teammate and the ultimates of your teammates. Do you have the Wukong ultimate still up? Do you have the Malphite ultimate still up? Do you have still the Yumi ultimate, the Sona ultimate, the Misfortune ultimate? Maybe your teammates, they use the summoners and the ultimates before the dragon spawn. What do you do then? Don't go for the team fight, keep farming, or go for the herald instead. Go for the crossplay. Trade the objective. Because in this case, you are too weak to team fight. This is very important. And I'm going to show you one clip, which is pretty cool. I didn't want to team fight because I know my ultimate, for example, wasn't up and our team fighting is weaker. I didn't want to bunch up against them because I knew they have the better team fighting composition and I didn't have my ultimate up yet. So, let's watch the clip. Let's watch. I don't have ultimate, Garen doesn't have ultimate, Morgana doesn't have ultimate, Jinx doesn't have ultimate, Karma doesn't have ultimate. They want to start the Rift Herald and Jinx is clearing bot lane. This is the scenario happening right now. They want to go for it. They're pinging. Let's go for the Rift Herald. I'm starting it. I'm like, retreat. Jinx is bot lane. I don't have ultimate. You guys don't. Okay, they actually got ultimate. No, this is not even here, guys. What am I saying even? What is the path Darkbreaker saying? Stop. Back off. I don't care if you're dying. I don't even have ultimate. It's not my problem. I don't have ultimate, and I don't care if you're dying. What is the enemy team composition? They have Alistar Yasuo. Which is very strong in team fights. They also have Echo. They also have Echo and Wukong. They have a very strong team fighting composition, and Morgana doesn't have ultimate. I don't have ultimate. I don't wanna go into the pit where I can get caught, where I might get knocked up, and then I die. Sometimes you have to take the team fight slow. So I'm just kiting back right here. I'm waiting for my ultimate to come back up. Now I'm going. Karma hits a very good ultimate. They're all bunching up. I'm the one who is not bunched up with them, and I'm not getting caught by the abilities of the opponents. Because I knew if I'm bunching up at Herald, we're all bunched up at the Rift Herald. We are vulnerable to all the abilities of the opponents. The Wukong ultimate, the Alistar knockup, the Alistar Yasuo combo, etc. So I kept my distance away from them. And now I'm going in, and we are wiping them. Because they use all of the abilities already. And they bunched up. They bunched up and we didn't bunch up. Come, you fucking asshole. Give me the penta. Give me the penta. Why am I so toxic? I'm not toxic. I am just give me the penta. And that's how we got the pentakill. So what did we do? We considered our summoner spells. We considered the team fighting power of the opponents. We didn't want to bunch up. We waited for our ultimate to come back up again. So that's kind of the decision making you need to think about when it comes down to team fighting and objectives. Do you have the better team fighting? Do you have the better team composition? Do you have summoner spells up? Do you have ultimates up? This is something very important you guys need to understand. And this is what I mean with knowing which scenario is the best play. What is the best play? Is the best play to go for the other objective? Is the best play to force a team fight? Is the best play to just go for the turret instead? At the end of the day, objectives are the main goal. Turrets are the main goal because turrets give you a lot of gold and you're opening up the map. The Rift Herald is a tool to secure the turret, but if you can just get the turret for free because there's a big wave, then just go for it instead of team fighting. This is like a general macro or decision making and not even jungle decision making. Go for the right play, guys. Go for the right play. In every scenario, you need to think about what's the optimal play, the best play for yourself and for your team. If your teammates want to grief down and they are weaker, just let them die. It doesn't matter. Because they went for the suboptimal play and they want a team fight because they don't have any idea about objective management and the right macro. Managing farming and ganking at the same time. Oh yeah, let's talk about like gold management. I think the three main stats that are super good to have as a jungler are good KDA, high GPM, gold per minute. How much gold are you getting per minute? And then team fight participation. You need to find the right balance between all three. Where you play greedy, where you don't play too greedy to die unnecessary, but you are not so ego that you don't sacrifice yourself for the greater good, for the winning play, for the team fight win. If you're Wukong, for example, just go in and tank, even if you die, but if your teammates are winning, it's worth, for example. High GPM, gold per minute. I would say if you have like 800 plus, then you're doing pretty well as a jungler. 850, very good. 900, you are good. Most people have like between, if you're really good, like 820 to 850. How do you reach this? Farming, objectives, and ganking. You need to find the right balance between doing all three. You can't AFK farm, and you can't just perma gank. You need to find the right balance between every time you see an opening for gank where someone's over aggressive, go for it. But if you see, okay, I'm not sure if we can gank them, then don't go for it. Also, if someone's spamming you, let's help him out. Don't do it if someone is behind. Go, like, you need to think about the win condition as well. Gank someone who's already doing well to keep him going, and gank someone who's the win condition, like a Vayne, for example, who's scaling, who's gonna become super powerful. Gank the champion that is gonna make you win the game, not someone like who's already 0-4, he's losing. If you gank him, you might lose 1 versus 2, for example. But yeah, find the right balance between. I can only general, like you will notice. Don't go for ganks that are not working out. Obviously, it's sometimes fine to force a flash, but usually I prefer to keep farming and only go for ganks where I'm sure I can secure it, because I understand, okay, this guy is low, this guy is over aggressive, etc. Team fighting around objectives. I think I gave a pretty good example. Let's watch one. I think this covers most things already. I don't know how long the video is, but we're gonna watch one replay, and I will try my best to give you the macro understanding for each play. So let's watch one replay right now. It's gonna be an Olaf gameplay. Let's see what. Okay. What I'm doing. Oh, I'm doing something wrong here, by the way. I messed up. Because I didn't change. I think I was distracted or something. But what you wanna do is you take the control ward, you put it at blue buff, you're resetting, and then you get the red trinket. So this one usually is very safe. I think I can close this one. Or maybe later I'm gonna use it. Never mind. Because this one, it stays the whole time unless someone's actually clearing it. And at all time you always have vision on your blue buff. So I really like to do that. I'm not gonna smite here. Because the lower you are, the more attack speed you're gonna get. And this is gonna make your jungle kill speed quicker. Okay, this game looks like I'm gonna go for standard clear. Standard full red side clear. Oh, by the way, I'm playing with Doom. Nice. Okay, using the plant like this because... Oh, what do we know right here? We know he started blue buff. Because he's already finished this one. So we know he started blue buff. Actually, what I should have done here is maybe... Instead of Scuttle, just go near the bot lane trying to help them out. Like, obviously, I think this gameplay wasn't even perfect, but I was like, oh, whatever. I already have an Olaf gameplay, and this was pretty good, so... let's use this one at least. Because otherwise it's wasted. Because the gameplay was... it's not bad. But we're gonna cover every decision-making thing. I'm gonna use my X right here, because they cleared the ward. And he started blue buff, so he might be on my blue. He's not. Vi is gonna go for the early gank. I'm gonna try to get this. I'm actually surprised she went for the blue clear. I guess she went blue, red, Raptors, Scuttle. See, just by using the plant, I can already think about, okay, what is the pathing that Va is doing? Using the plant right here, and this guy's getting caught because he's too over-aggressive. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, he kind of knew that Vi was still nearby, but he overextended and didn't wait for me. I wanted to go for the counter gank because I assumed that Vi was still top lane. So I was already going for the lane, but he already died too quickly. Gonna reset. So far 1-5. Everyone is kind of losing. Waiting to get the dagger. Bot lane. Aurelion is roaming. Are they gonna get the kill in the bot lane? They are gonna secure the kill on Corki. Nice. Okay, I see that the others are going bot lane. I'm thinking about if they are gonna go for the dive right here, so I'm covering. Okay. I'm just gonna try to run down the Ahri, and I secure 1 kill. Actually do a decent amount of damage. And Vi used ultimate on top side already. But yeah, you see, if you always need to pay attention to what is happening on the map. You need to pay attention if you are needed for counter gank, or if you can secure a free kill because someone is overextended. Okay, I'm pinging because Vi might go for the dive. She has ultimate up again at this point. I'm gonna clear this, and then I'm gonna cover at the tribush. I'm gonna use the plant downwards because I wanna spot the Vi. I also spot the ward at the tribush. And I'm just gonna go for the Scuttle right here. I have enough for the Trinity. Maybe I can gank. Let's see. Ash Arrow is coming. Use my axe. Boom. And we secure this one actually. Nice. Right now this is risky. Because my smite is not up. Okay, now Darius is already moving. My smite is gonna come up. And Pyke is dead. And that's why I'm like, okay, we can rush this. I assume the Vi is just gonna go for the trade. Oh, never mind, she's here. Oh god. I was way too close, by the way. No. Am I gonna die? I'm surviving. Nice. I'm gonna reset and let's group for the Rift Herald. Very close team fight, but I kind of knew that we had the advantage because Pike wasn't there, and it was a 4-3, right? Just because I knew we had the man advantage, I went for the Inferno rush play. Yeah. Just gonna secure the blue buff, and then my smite is gonna be up again for the Rift Herald. So after securing one objective, you have the advantage. Just go for the next objective, which is gonna be the Rift Herald. Nice arrow, by the way. Huge. I'm going for the Ari instead. Okay, Ari. Boom. Get the kill. Nice. The thing is, this teamfight was a little bit risky, but I knew I was really ahead. Pike was there and Lulu wasn't there, so that's why the teamfight was a little bit risky, but Ash landed a pretty good ultimate, so I was okay, we can commit on this one. Remember, with the Rift Herald, your backports are also quicker. So this way you can move on the map really, really quick. Okay. He took a lot of damage with the Aurelion Soul here. And bot lane's also low. I'm gonna go for the... Ooh, okay. Okay. I should just reset, get items. I'm greedy going for the scuttle. I'm greedy farming, actually. Okay. And now I go for the scuttle. And then I'm resetting. Oh, I'm going bot lane. Oh, I'm pinging right now for the Asher, I think. Ah, never mind. I'm greedy, actually. I continue farming. Could reset already. It's very important, by the way, to reset to get items, because the advantage you have right now is still in the pocket and not in form of actual items. So make sure to reset when you can or when it's needed. Now I'm resetting though, because I know they can secure the bot turret and Ari's in the mid lane and vice top side. And I'm actually TPing just to hold this one. Interesting. Because I saw Ari has a big wave and I don't want her to just push our mid turret for free. Okay, Doom is greedy. He wants my red buff. I'm like, okay, he's my dual Q. I'm gonna let him have it because he's doing pretty well on the Ash pick, even though he doesn't necessarily need a red buff that much. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So, two options you have right now. Use the Rift Herald to secure the top turret, or use it in the mid lane. Once you maybe pick off someone and you think you can secure it. Pop. And now, I don't even need to use the Rift Herald here. Ash arrow, we caught someone, we can just go for the turret right here. Vi is jumping in, I don't know why. That's a pun. It was totally intended. Okay, I'm just gonna use it right here to secure the next turret because 4 people are dead. And don't use it when there are too many people because they can stop the charge. Use it when there are less people and then the charge is almost taking 2 plates. Just see, that's how I keep farming. I'm clearing the side lanes while the others are in the mid lane. Bam, get free gold. Clear the side lanes when they're getting abandoned later on. Always make sure so your turrets stay healthy and no minion damage are gonna hit the turret because wave management is also important as a jungler sometimes because some people might not even hold the lane anymore because they want to keep fighting and roaming around. Okay, Ashero. I'm gonna run him down. Run the next guy down. Can I do it? Am I greedy? Am I greedy? I am greedy. Can I do it though? We got 1 kill. It's fine. I'm kind of low. I don't have smite. I do have TP. Cloud rank is up. I think I should reset here. Reset, get glory, group up for... Okay, I'm greedy actually. I guess because the others are kind of low and they have to reset, but this is greedy what I'm doing. But I assume they just reset it and it's gonna be easier. Oh, I remember this Aurelion. He's just griefing in the mid lane. He's like he's gonna do this multiple times. I remember this guy. Because he's like, I want to secure the tier 3, and he's just using his star thing always in the mid lane. Just trying to run me down. Okay, since we have pressure in the mid lane, we can actually secure the top turret. Because they're kind of busy and no one is holding it. So I'm just gonna rotate, clear the top wave so I can secure the top turret as well. That's how you can rotate between the objectives. While the others are busy, I see, okay, there's an opening, I have a wave, I clear it, and then I can get the top turret. At the same time, my teammates are inting in the mid lane though. Nicely done. And shutdown. Nice, Doom! Why are you giving shutdown? You're getting caught right here, you're too greedy. And now they're getting the Rift Herald. Okay. Okay, Doom. You were too greedy. By the way, I'm really strong, but the stats, like, it's still pretty close, to be fair, if you're paying attention. Okay, darkbreaker, you're a little bit greedy here. It doesn't work out. Wait. Honestly, I didn't expect them to be that many people. Wait, let me rewatch. I think I was saying, why is Aurelion Soul not here yet? Oops. Here. Why can't I skip with a right key? Okay, we see Corki, we see Aurelia, we see Ari, we see Vi. Okay, I actually see that Aurelion Vi are here. I'm greedy. I want to see what Aurelion Soul was doing. Okay, I get this kill. Aurelion Soul is chasing Ari. I swear to God, if he just came here immediately, we probably kill 2 people if he helps me out instead of chasing Ari around. Like, he's chasing Ari while I'm pretty sure if he helps me out, we could get 2 more kills. And now he's just dying anyways. Yeah, but that guy was trolling so much later on. You saw the 1 tier 3 thing where he just charges alone. He's gonna do it 2 more times. Okay, skip forward. Do we even need to? No, he's gonna get the kill. How do I skip forward? Oh, now it works. Okay. Let's skip forward a bit. Oh yeah, let's see. Look at Aurelion, by the way. He's charging again. He's charging again to the tier 3. He's charging again. Vi is there. Corki is there. He's charging again. He's just charging again, and he's just dying again for no reason. Now, at this point, the macro is really kind of scuffed at this point because Aurelion keeps dying. What we could have done with the advantage, like if you have this advantage right now, what you can do is you force Baron, group up around Baron, set deep wards, and if they're not coming, you rush it. If they're coming, you turn on them. Best case. Because we don't have the best sieging composition, and it's easier to just go for the Baron then. I'm getting popped so quickly at this point. Okay, I'm gonna skip forward a bit. It's nothing special is happening. Our Ren is charging again, by the way. Again, overextended alone. Never mind, he's not charging in this play. Nice. Just clearing the wave, clearing bot wave as well. I'm clearing mid wave. Yeah, I think at this point we should just skip a bit forward because not too much is happening. Oh, Lulu's getting caught for free. Asher is being used. Lulu got caught. Dragon's gonna spawn soon. Guess, wait, which dragon is it? Our Soul is charging in very aggressively. Okay. Can we win this? I should have run away here, by the way. Am I gonna die here? Asher. Bam, I'm gonna turn on him. Nice. Got 1 kill. Oh, where's the Pike? Where's Pike? Where's Pike? Where did Pike go? Oh, he went mid. He's so quick. He's mid lane already. And now, 4 people are dead. We are just gonna go for the Baron. I don't have Smite, but I don't think they can steal it. Because it's only Pike. Only Pike is alive. And we have... If the ADC is alive, it's... Whew, kind of close though. I'm just resetting and then going for the... I take blue, reset, and then go for the Dragon, I think. I'm just going for a Morph Bomb. Greedy. I want a Guardian Angel, I guess. Still not resetting. Oh no. Aurelion is getting caught again here. Third time is the charm in the mid lane. Fighting again in the mid lane. Dies again. We're gonna go for the Dragon here. I have enough for Guardian Angel. Looking for a nice Ash Arrow. Bam. Nice Doom. I just want to get the Guardian Angel at this point. And then we can group for bot lane, or top side. Skip forward a bit, nothing special is happening. They're fighting. I try to join. Maybe it's a tip on how to end the game easier. The chasing. I mean, if you have Baron, you can go 4-1. One is split pushing on the other side, or you just go 5-5 and you just try to siege with the minions and the poking. Okay, I see that fighting bot lane. I try to help him. Oh, here. This one's nice. Yeah, okay, Asher was coming. I'm like, okay, Asher was coming. Let's see. Does it hit? It hits! And I'm like, ooh, let's run this guy down. And I secure the kill. Nice arrow by Doom. Poke you. Keep farming. We have a top wave. So I'm gonna push it and try to get the turret. Ash arrow. I'm flashing in. I'm going in. Going in hot. Bum, bum, bum. Nice one. I would put it in the video, but I probably get copyrighted if I use that. So I can't do it. But yeah, this is gonna be game. Overall, pretty solid game. Kind of messy. 9-17 is pretty solid. Just wanted to give you some tips here and there from the gameplay itself, so you guys like I only showed a lot of like on the map thing, like I've tried to explain it on the map, etc. But I think it's also helpful to sometimes just explain it via the gameplay itself, a full gameplay. Like there are, if I cover every scenario, I would showcase so many clips. It's just too much. Like it's hard for me to find all those clips for every scenario perfectly. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for the video already. I think we've covered everything. The pathing thing we've covered in depth. I think that's very important, like decision making as well. So we covered matchups, lane priorities, pathing, predicting what the enemy is gonna do, counter ganking, lane ganks, dice, jungle tracking, tempo control, objective management, decision making in general, knowing which scenario is the best optimal play. Comes down or boils down to experience, obviously. Maybe you guys need to know the respawn times, etc. Think about the respawn times. Usually the first one is respawning at 1:30 again, 3:05 or 3:10 again, then he's gonna be here. And then afterwards, 3:30 he finished this one, and then he might look for gang, or 3:40, depending if he goes for scatter as well. But then, if you know he's gonna be here again, then you just ping your bot lane, hey guys, be careful, ping your top lane, guy, be careful, he's on top side again, or red side again. Like something like this. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. Hopefully this video is not too long. I have no idea how long I recorded. Make sure to leave a like, smash the like button if you guys want more guides for the YouTube algorithm. Make sure to subscribe for more guides, for patch 3.3 content, and share the video maybe, and watch the other guides if you guys haven't done it yet. And yeah, write down below your feedback if you guys enjoyed it, what you guys liked, what you guys want to see in the future, and spam comments for the YouTube algorithm as well. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I see you next time. Professor Breaker heads out. Bye bye.
Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.